Greetings and thank you for tuning in to Mr. Story Channel, where you can experience the most fascinating moments on Reddit. It's time for our first story. Am I the jerk for telling my mom's family I don't owe her anything because she had gender disappointment? My mom never wanted a boy. She wanted girls. Apparently her dream was 4 daughters. But she had me, 16 male, first. I have seen photos and videos of the day I was born. She cried hysterically when they told her I was a boy. Then she refused to hold me. After we were cleaned up, she cried about not using the name she had chosen and said she didn't know how to move on from it. All this was caught on camera. Eventually, my paternal grandma took me, and she was the person to hold me in photos and videos taken during the rest of our hospital stay. My paternal grandma was my sole parent figure for the first 8 years of my life. She took care of me, and I spent so much time at her house. Sometimes I was there for weeks. Then she had a brain bleed and died. So I was left with a mom who wanted girls and not a boy, and a dad who wanted to be a provider and nothing more. My mom had my sister Lily 2 years after me. So mom got her girl, and Lily got all her attention. Well, I got grandma until I was 8, and then nobody. My mom and Lily are super close, and mom adores Lily. Lily got the bigger bedroom, she gets the gifts, she gets all her favorite snacks, she gets to do all the extracurricular activities she could ever want, and her birthdays are huge parties with huge gifts. Christmas she gets at minimum 25 gifts from mom alone. Mom typically gets me one. Never anything I'd like or want, but thought that counts, which is 0. My mom's family doesn't act too interested in making up for my lack of parental love. And in the last couple of years, mom and I have argued more, and I give her a hard time. Dad's never around for me to give him the same treatment. But mom? If she wants to ignore me, then she can hear how crappy it is. And if she wants to treat my sister like a perfect angel, then she can hear about it. Mom has mentioned how I ruined her dream of 4 daughters. We were at mom's parents' house Friday, and mom gushed about Lily doing well on a project and the scooter she got Lily to help her get around easier. She got Lily a custom helmet and a personalized lock for her scooter. She couldn't stop talking about it, and I told her she really does love to shower her favorite with gifts and praise. My mom's family told me I should take it easier on her and said I should understand we had some little troubles because of mom's gender disappointment. I told them I don't owe her anything because she had gender disappointment and that I didn't ask to be born to a mom who only wanted daughters. They told me I lacked adult understanding and compassion. I feel that they are guilt-tripping me. I need some honest and unbiased opinion. Looks like that Opie is in a very unfortunate situation. Tell me, what do you think he should do about it in the comments below? If you are enjoying these stories, please give it a like and subscribe. We are trying to reach our first 100 subscribers. Thank you, and let's go for our next story. Am I the jerk for telling my daughter she actually has to do things to get celebrated? I have a 16-year-old daughter, Caddy, and a 14-year-old Jake. Jake is more of an achiever. He's involved in sports, does great in school, and recently won an award for community volunteering. We have been celebrating his achievements, usually with a dinner out. Caddy, on the other hand, doesn't do much. She hasn't been putting effort into anything lately. She basically just goes to school and then exists in the house. She spends her free time on her phone or watching TV, doesn't have any hobbies or interests outside of her friend group, and doesn't put much effort into schoolwork. This results in her not getting many celebrations outside of her birthday. We stopped forcing her to do sports or other clubs when she hit high school. Caddy came to me and said she feels like it's unfair we celebrate Jake, and I decided to have a conversation with her. I sat her down and explained that we love her just as much, but if she wants to be celebrated like Jake, she needs to put effort into something. I suggested she try finding something she's passionate about or work harder in school, that she should make her own goals to work towards. I thought I was being honest but gentle. Caddy did not take it well. She exploded, accusing me of playing favorites and saying it was unfair that Jake gets all the attention just because he's always doing things. She even lashed out at Jake, telling him that he was the golden child, and she was tired of hearing about how great he was. Jake was hurt by her outburst, and now things are awkward between them. Caddy has been avoiding both me and her brother since then, staying in her room or giving us the silent treatment. My husband thinks I could have phrased it better, but I believe this was an important reality check for her. If she isn't doing anything, then there is nothing to celebrate. Edit. For everyone claiming I never talk or am around my daughter. She literally just went apple picking with her father this weekend. I am spending almost every day teaching her how to drive. We went shopping into a spa day earlier this month. Her father is teaching her how to change tires and how to work the basics of the car. That's been happening every weekend for months. Me and her have been watching a show together every Tuesday for months now. My husband and I are completely and equally involved in our kids' lives. Do you think that Opie is being unfair with her daughter? Tell me in the comments. And for the next story, am I the jerk for informing my son's friend's parents that he is a kleptomaniac? My son is 14 male. He is a diagnosed kleptomaniac. He is in therapy for it. It used to be a huge problem, but is mostly under control. Even though sometimes he can't help himself. He is a good kid, but he is quick to grab things without even being aware of it. And honestly, he is very good with his hands. He is able to pickpocket without being caught in the act. I don't want this to affect his social life, so when he visits someone else's homes, I try to talk to the parents to inform them that he has this condition, and if they think something is missing from their homes, they can call me, and I will search for it in case my son has grabbed it. Yes, some parents have called me, and I've brought their things back, usually small things but important enough to need to be returned. However, some parents have forbidden their kids to hang out with my son after I've delivered it, and it's hard for him. So, recently, he visited for the first time the home of a friend to play Warhammer. I informed the parents of his condition, and I thought everything was okay. But while he was there, the parents told their son, and the son told the other kids there, and they bullied him to the point that my son left and walked alone to our home. Nobody called me. He has a phone but didn't call or text. He just got home on his own. Then he scolded me, saying that I'm ruining his life by telling everyone that he is a thief, and he'll never make friends because I keep telling people. Then he locked himself in his bedroom to cry. Honestly, I feel bad, but I think this is a way of telling other kids as parents that I'm not enabling my son. I know it's hard, but I'm doing what I can as a mom, but I want to ask if I'm the jerk because it seems to be hurting him anyway. Edit. People keep saying that I should rather search him, but I've already done that when he was younger. He is not allowed to wear pants with pockets, he is not allowed to use bags or backpacks, and he only has a small, fully transparent one when he needs it. He carries his phone in a case strapped to his belt. In school, the principal is allowed to get into his locker if he suspects he took something. I have an inventory of what belongs to him and what belongs to me. If he buys something, he has to show me a receipt and other measures. Someone just commented that I should strip search him. Sorry, but he's no longer at an age where it is acceptable to do that. And for our next story, am I the jerk for refusing to buy a new dress for any of my friends' weddings? I, 19 female, have been attending a lot of weddings recently. Most of my friends are my coworkers, who are much older than me. I wasn't included in the wedding but was invited, so I always had a set dress. I wore a regular length, tight black dress. Now I should add for context. I have attended 5 weddings over the last 2 years, and none of them had a specific dress code. One of my coworkers is getting married next June, and after I received the invite, she asked what I'd be wearing, and I told her that I would wear my regular black dress. I don't have a lot of others. The only ones I do are very formal. She told me after that she actually has imposed a dress code, which was not mentioned on the invite, and that everyone should be wearing red as she was going to wear black. I agreed and said I'd get to buying a nice one. However, when I spoke to my other coworkers, none of them mentioned anything about a dress code. One of them even asked her, the bride, Maria, and Maria said there was no dress code. Initially, I thought this was confusing, and maybe she changed her mind and forgot to tell me. So when I asked my coworker to ask her, Maria said, I don't like the black dress she always wears. It's old and unflattering, and I would rather my guests look presentable at my wedding. I always felt good in the dress. It is old. I bought it for my sophomore prom, but I felt as if it still worked. I texted Maria that I wouldn't be able to attend her wedding. She came up to me at work and put a sweet act on about how she thought we were friends and she really wanted me there. Eventually, I told her I was not planning on buying a new dress because I heard what she said about my black one. Maria said I was mistaken, but I know I was not. Even though she apologized, she texted me later that I am uninvited from her wedding, as she would rather not have a broke teenager ruining all her photos. I spoke to my friend about this, and he thinks I could have just bought a cheap red dress and avoided all the drama. Do you think that Opie should have caved to keep the peace? Tell me in the comments below. And for the next story, am I the jerk for confronting my daughter-in-law about her constant lying and refusing to apologize? I, 56 female, have a son, and things have been tense because of his wife, Emily, 28 female. I've noticed over the past year that Emily tends to stretch the truth or flat out lie about things, both big and small. At first, it was little things like saying she couldn't come to family dinners because of work, only to post on social media that she was out with friends. Then it escalated to bigger things. One example that really bothered me happened recently. We were both supposed to attend a charity fundraiser. I was there the entire evening and never saw her. When I later asked if she had made it, she insisted that she had been there the whole time and even said she saw me but was too busy to come say hi. This wasn't true. I know for a fact she wasn't there. The volunteer list was small, and I definitely would have seen her. We were all in the same room. More recently, she lied about something involving a family event. We were planning a small gathering for my husband's birthday, and Emily told me she'd arranged a cake from his favorite bakery. The day of the party, she showed up empty-handed, claiming they lost the order. When I called the bakery to see what happened, they had no record of any order ever being placed. That was the last straw for me. I pulled her aside later and confronted her about her constant lying. I tried to be calm and respectful, but I told her that her dishonesty was starting to affect how I viewed her and that it was creating tension in the family. She literally messed up my husband's birthday with these lies. She completely denied it and got really upset, saying I was making her out to be a bad person and that I was overreacting. My son got involved and is now angry with me. The whole thing has caused a rift, and now Emily refuses to come to any family gatherings unless I apologize. I feel like I had every right to call her out, and I have nothing to apologize for. Next story. Am I the jerk for telling my parents to not include my stepdaughter in their will? I, 35 female, have 2 kids, 17 male and female. They are twins, and 1 stepdaughter, 18 female, who I met when she was 11. The other day, I was at my parents' house going over some estate planning as I am the executor. While reviewing, I saw my folks had split their assets to be half for my 2 siblings and me, and the other half for their grandkids, all to be distributed evenly. My stepdaughter was included. When I asked them about this, they said they wanted to be fair. Their estate isn't super large, but the sum would be substantial. Think new car. I told my parents that, while generous of them, I didn't think it would be necessary and would be better to split between their 5 grandkids. When we got home, my husband said he overheard what I said and that I was being a jerk for alienating his daughter. I told him my reasoning was because she is the only child/grandchild/niece on both her parents' sides and that she would be set. Her grandparents own multiple properties, her uncles are fairly well off and live in a high cost of living area, and well, she's the only kid, and it's not looking like, at least on his side, that she'll have any cousins. Plus, their collective net worth is substantially more than my side. I also asked him if his parents included my kid in their estate, but he refused to answer. Still, he said I was being a jerk and accused me of not caring about her future. I think I was doing the right thing by looking out for my kids and their cousins. Am I wrong here? Edit. I was told to include this in the post. 1. I didn't argue with or pressure my parents to make a change. I simply mentioned that I don't feel it was necessary for her to receive a monetary amount. 2. My mom plans on giving her a set of family heirloom jewelry that is her birthstone. I think this is quite thoughtful. I'm not a big jewelry person, and she has other sets for the other girls in the family, so I feel this is okay. 3. My parents have seen her about 3 to 5 times a year since I met her. 4. My nephews and my kids do not have active relationships with their biological fathers. My niece is a new mom and works at a restaurant. I feel that financial inheritance would be more impactful for them, even as such a small amount. 5. I know my stepdaughter is set to inherit at least 2 houses in a major U.S. city with higher cost of living. I found this out a while back after my husband asked me to help him organize his office. I had to read through papers to know how to file them accordingly. The paper was a certified copy and was drafted soon after we married. My kids were not included. I am not sure if it has been updated. I did not ask him about it at the time because I did not have an issue with it. 6. There is distance in the relationship, but I don't feel it's my fault. I can explain this. When I met her mom for the first time, she made it very clear that I wasn't her mom. I didn't see this as an issue because I did not want to overstep, and as a mom myself, I could see where she was coming from and respected her request. But as time progressed, our opportunity to spend time together became less frequent. At first, my husband had every other weekend visitation. It became less frequent as she became a teenager because she wanted to spend the night with friends, hang out, etc., which I see as normal teenager behavior. The other piece is that we were never invited to be included in major celebrations for her. We usually celebrated birthdays with her a week later because we weren't invited. My husband was, just not us. She's also never spent Thanksgiving or Christmas with us because her mom wanted those days. Again, which I saw as fine because that's her only child. My husband would spend holidays with her at her mom's house, which I encouraged because I knew the importance of father-daughter connections. We also were not invited to her high school graduation. I think she's a beautiful and brilliant young woman, and I care for her tremendously. But it's challenging to develop deep, meaningful relationships with people you have little contact with. But now, when there is money involved, my husband sees such a deep connection between us. I think that Opie should have a deep and honest talk with her husband and explain to him exactly why it's not fair or right for him to be upset about this. That is just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. And for our next story, am I the jerk for telling my sister, who can't have kids, that she does not get to be a part of naming mine and my wife's babies? My older sister, 34 female, was born without the reproductive organs required to have a biological child. Because of her condition, she also has some other health problems that disqualify her from adopting due to the uncertainty around her quality and length of life. She was aware for most of her life that she couldn't have biological children. That was discovered when she was still very young, but the rest came throughout her 20s. She had dreams of motherhood and had lists of baby names she wanted to use, but she will never be able to use them on children that are hers. What I, 28M, did not know at the time was she had saved her baby names and was hoping she would get to name or help name my future children. My wife, 27 female, and I are expecting our first child. We haven't announced the sex, but my sister thinks we're having a girl and shared her girl names with us. We thanked her and said we, wife and I, would discuss what the name would be at some point. My sister looked upset by the response, and she then shared her boy names, thinking she got it wrong. We gave her the same response. My mom suggested a couple of months ago that it would be generous and kind to let my sister have some input. I told her we felt it was better if we named our child ourselves. My wife and I did look at the list just to see if we liked any of the names. We did not. Names on the list included Elizabeth, Hannah, Rosemary, and Francesca for girls and James, Edward, Patrick, and Michael for boys. Those just aren't to our preference. None of them were, and there were more names. My sister mentioned the names again recently, and she said we should pick Elizabeth for a girl and Michael for a boy. She said that's what she'd do if she were having the baby. I told her we hadn't made our minds up yet, but we're still in discussions about it. She offered to help, and I said no thanks. My wife and I want to figure it out between us. My sister said she wants to be a part of naming all our babies, that she would love to share all her endless thoughts on names that she'll never get to put into her own kid. I told her I understood she wanted that, but my wife and I as parents would name our child, and she does not get to be a part of that. I told her I understood that was hurtful to her, but she does not get a say. I also asked her to please stop bringing it up. My sister told me I could let her have at least a little say in this, and I said sorry but no. She cried to Mom, who thinks we should be more sensitive, while my dad told my sister I wasn't wrong and she needs to accept that she doesn't get to name our baby. My response has caused a divide among my parents, sister, and me. It has been made clear my mom thinks I lack compassion and my sister believes I'm hurtful to her. And for our last story of today, am I the jerk for no longer being concerned that my son refuses to deal with me? Let me start this off with I love my child. I've fought and fought for many years with his mother to be in his life, only to be met with resistance consistently. She honestly didn't care if I was there or not. As long as the child support was paid, I heard nothing from her. I truly believe she did not want me in his life. Planning things on my scheduled visitations and not letting it be made up the following weekend got aggravating. When it came to things he wanted to, I was not going to stop him from doing them. I did not mind sacrificing the time. I understand he's going to want to hang out with friends and go to family events. I made the biggest mistake, telling her one day that he could come when he wanted. He has friends, a girlfriend, and is a teen. I understand I was that age once. Let him have fun. This ultimately backfired. After that phone call, I saw him once more, and that was it. To this day, I do not know what was said to him. That was 7 years ago. I couldn't have his phone number or email. To be clear, he's now an adult, and I still don't know his phone number. He refuses to see or speak to me or anyone on my side of the family. She let him talk to my mother before she passed so she could say goodbye, only to turn and say I kept it from him, knowing I told her long before. I ended up having a conversation with a friend about this, as she had asked me about it. I told her I've yet to hear from him and am not worried about it. I've stopped worrying about things I couldn't control long ago. She asked me a question. How would you feel if he never bothered with you for the rest of your life? Never let you know if you were a grandparent, and just never let you know anything about his life? I told her I had thought about that before and, to be honest, it wouldn't bother me. I've been estranged for 7 years now. I've missed all the major milestones. I miss seeing him become an adult. At this point, I have no idea who he is, and he is basically a stranger to me. At some point you accept that this is your situation and there's not much you can do. After a while, you stop caring because you realize you'll drive yourself crazy and keep yourself depressed for something you have no control over. This answer did not go over well. Let me state this first. She's married and has children. I believe this will add context to why she responded the way she did, which I understood and respected, as we all have our views, but I do not agree with. She said that I have become heartless and cold and can't believe I'd think that way after all the years of fighting I did. She said she never in a million years would think I would have thought like that. You are a parent. You are supposed to never stop fighting, no matter how many walls you have to climb. I'm truly shocked and disappointed that you'd think like this. I love you. We've been good friends for many years, but I can't agree with your line of thought on this. Am I a heartless monster? Is there really something wrong with me? Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and watching until the end. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to stay updated on future content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when I release new videos, and you'll be helping to support my channel. So, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and let's keep this journey going together. Thanks again and see you soon.